It's your boy Jay. We are live. It's the pre party. What's going on with you? I know I'm doing good. Kind of. Kind of. We're live. Anyway, we're about to go live on TikTok as well. We're going to try to join our pal Soto. Hopefully it'll work out. We'll see how this goes. We'll see how this goes. Yeah. My peeps, what is up? Why does the light always look so weird? The light looks so weird. Well, it looks good on YouTube, but it doesn't look good on TikTok. I look all washed out. Let's get this going, right? Let's get this going in here. What's up, Abby Yabby? You just stopped by. You're already gone. That's better. It's a little bit better. It's a little bit better. What is going on? Somebody's watching. Let's see. We got the headphones on. But are we connected? No, we are not. Let's see. Can we change this up? Let's see. Settings. It would always be good if I had this ready to go when I start this thing, but you know how it be sometimes. Right, fam? You feel me, right, fam? Audio mixer. Sound effects. Oosie Jesse. Yeah, it's KO. It's your boy Kevin Owens. Does Kevin Owens ever say he's anybody's boy? That would be an interesting question. Who goofed? I've got to know. Speakers should be here. Let's see. I can't get it to go to the Bluetooth. Sometimes I hate technology. Hey, what's up, everybody? Hello from India. Hi, I'm from the United States. Thanks for checking us out. I hope you're all safe out there in India. G Shirem? I hope that's a nice thing. What does G Shirem mean? What is up, everybody? It's Tuesday. I'm here to talk wrestling. That's great. I'm glad to hear that the war is over. One of my dearest, bestest friends in the entire world, his name is Matul Patel, and he is originally from India. And I'm glad. I'm echoing. I'm trying not to echo. I don't know what the heck's going on here. What's going on? I'm trying to mess with the settings right now. Okay. Well, there's two microphones. That's why I'm echoing. How about now? Am I echoing now, Soto? Am I still echoing? That's better. Okay, yeah, for some reason it had both microphones activated. Well, hello, big fans. I appreciate you guys liking the channel. What are you playing? I'm not playing anything. I'm streaming on both TikTok and on YouTube. And I'm talking about wrestling. If you'd like to talk wrestling, I'm your guy. I consume quite a bit of wrestling content, both now and in the past. What's up, Inkster Raw? Hey, Heather. Is it Surrey? I want to make sure I'm saying your name right. Is it Surrey? Roman Reigns is your favorite? Roman Reigns is pretty freaking cool. People think I look like Kevin Owens. Do you guys think I look like Kevin Owens on YouTube, TikTok? TikTok thinks I look like Kevin Owens. Luis Torres says I look like Kevin Owens. Now, Who do you think will be the third guy of this Seth stable? Who I would really like the third guy to be, if we're talking about Seth stable, is I really would like it to be Logan Paul. I don't know how you pull that off, especially because, if Logan Paul's the guy, Seth's whole pursuit is Jey Uso and that title, right? So if Logan Paul is your guy, it's kind of hard to go after him. But I think it makes the most sense, unless it's something completely opposite. Like how amazing would it be if it was Jimmy Uso? Could you imagine Jimmy Uso turning on his brother? Holy shnikey, right? There he is. That's who I'm trying to get on the show. Let me close this and let me accept this. And I think it's working. I think it's working.
Yeah, we're good.
It's black. Oh, there we are. Okay, cool. There we are. And I can now. You know what I'm gonna do? Check this out. I'm gonna make mine. Oh, I can't. All right. Well, it is what it is. Soto, what's up, my dude?
Okay.
How was
me a little bit when you're in.
How was WrestleMania?
It was good. Yeah, I can hear me on your end. Am I on the loudspeaker for you?
I'm having difficulty doing my speaker, getting it on the Bluetooth. So let me try something here. I put my headphones on, I powered it up, and I thought it would just work, and it's I was expecting too much.
Yeah, it happens.
Let's see. There it is. Connect. I think this will do it. Say something, Soto.
Say something.
All right, let me keep working on it. I'm getting closer, I know it. Okay. There it is. Hey, we're in. You don't hear yourself. You just hear me. The people. Oh, jeez, I'm sorry. The people on YouTube are like, who is he talking to? I'm talking to my good friend Soto619. He is probably the most prolific TikToker when it comes to the WWE. He goes live on Mondays and Fridays, and on most PLEs, and does a great job of extensively covering the World Wrestling Entertainment. If you are a fan of the WWE, you just need to follow Soto. Like, honestly. So I'm getting comments about the Crockett Cup this weekend about the NWA. Zach Velocity says, Jay, be honest, do you think Natty wins the NWA Championship this Saturday? Zach, I can't tell you with 100% certainty that Natty will win the title, but in my heart of hearts, I would love nothing more than Natty Neidhart to come on to NXT or was it Main Event Wrestling, the syndicated show, and show up with that NWA Women's World Championship. We affectionately call it the Burke, us NWA fans, because it was held by Mildred Burke. And I would love to see that. Natty Neidhart, you got that? My guy Lamb is watching me on YouTube right now, and he's like, are those new headphones? A little bit, Lamb. They're a little bit. I've had them for a while, but so when I go live, I'm also on TikTok right now with my boy Soto619, and we get way too much echo if I don't use the headphones. Did you get that at WrestleMania? I went to GCW's Crazy Spooky Hilarious. I think that's what it was called. It's some weird name. And I got home that night and I was sick, like pretty bad. I was out Sunday. I never miss work. I missed work on Monday, and I barely felt good enough on Tuesday to do the live streaming. It's always good to have that connection. I I, sh- I should have been wearing the Kevin Owens T-shirt. My neck hurts really bad. My my both of my youngest daughters, 12 and 10, have started to do an impression of Jennifer Coolidge. Do you know who that is? So she's the one that was Stifler's mom in those movies, and, and, and they keep doing the Legally Blonde. I want a hot dog real bad. So in my head, like, oh, my neck hurts real bad. Sorry, just my sense of humor. Uh, Jake Hallow. See, I should get. So let me show you my shirt. I don't know if I ever showed you this one. Did I ever show you this? I said I wanted a Kevin Steen look, so that's what we came up with, and it was not a hot seller, believe it or not. Nobody wanted to buy that shirt. Inkster Raw, who's also a Crockett himself, said, "I've got a question for both of you. If you could make a stable with current rosters, who would you put in it, and what would the name be?" Thanks, Lam. I think it's open to the public. Whoever you'd want to put it into a stable. Let's go WWE. Ooh, Big Bronson. Did he just came back, right? No. Jeff Cobb showed up. He he was one of my favorites for a while there. Before he hadn't been around in the Southern California Indies or the Indies of the U.S. for a while. He's been mostly doing New Japan stuff. But go ahead. What's your question? Oh, so he's a NorCal guy, Northern California. APW, I think, is where he trained. He is a he was a 2004 Olympian for Guam in powerlifting. I think it was powerlifting. And the dude is like, he looks like a brick house, but he really is so strong. And he's had some really prolific matches with in Pro Wrestling Guerrilla. Um, I don't remember who he beat for the title, but I think he defended against Keith Lee. Um, his time in New Japan Pro Wrestling, he was part of the embassy, not the embassy. I forgot what the name is, but it was with T.J. Perkins and Will Ospreay. I think it's called the United Empire, and I mean, he's just such a strong dude, and he was. There used to be a company called Suplex, like it was like a wrestling apparel, and they sponsored a lot of the athletes. So like Matt Riddle was one of the guys they sponsored, and so was Jeff Cobb. He was one of their sponsored athletes too. And I think the world of Jeff Cobb. He spent a lot of time with New Japan Pro Wrestling. He's had held titles there in New Japan, and he's one of these guys very similar to Tama Tonga, who's had a lot of success internationally, but not a lot, not mainstream success in the U.S. Now he's had appearances for AEW, um, and I think before that he had appeared in Ring of Honor. I think he held the Ring of Honor TV title before that was sold to the Cons. And yeah, I think the world of Jeff Cobb. That was a great signing for the WWE. A lot of people expected him to go AEW because he already had appeared there. Plus, Will Ospreay's there, but him in the bloodline, he is Polynesian, so I feel like, unless I'm mistaken, and someone could correct me, I believe people from Guam identify as Polynesian, and I feel like that kind of completes the circle right there. Like that. You have the bloodline is mostly the Ananoa'i family and the Fatus. Then they brought in the Tongans, and now you have somebody representing Guam. So it's kind of like it's everything. I feel like they're going to use him as more of an enforcer, at least for the time being. If I saw someone make a meme about it, but it really does kind of feel like it. The bloodline has just become a bunch of enforcers. Like when you had Romans at the head of the table, so to speak, everyone was there to protect him in the world's heavyweight championship. Now I feel like the it's the Intercontinental title that Jacob has, right? No, he has the U.S. title. Okay, so the U.S. Championship is still a cool title, but it's not the world title. So like, and Jacob Fatu does not need help keeping that belt. That dude is intense and amazing, and I feel like that's going to it definitely puts a whole new chapter onto the bloodline. And now you've even it felt like the bloodline couldn't exist without Roman, and for the better part of the year, they're still continuing the story of the bloodline, and now you don't even have the Usos in it. You don't have Roman in it, and it's not like it's not as hot as it was, but it still makes for compelling TV. Jacob Fatu is amazing. I could see Jacob Fatu breaking off from the group and perhaps Cobb kind of filling that role, being Solo's enforcer. I mean, I don't think they had any beef, but yeah. I mean, like storyline wise, sure. They're both NorCal guys. Cobb was kind of an elite wrestler when he was in the U.S. Indies, like again, Pro Wrestling Guerrilla. The thing about PWG, and it's crazy, people don't realize this. When PWG was running, it was basically a farm system for the WWE. Prior to AEW, and William Regal was at every PWG show scouting talent. Like this is like I'm not even fabricating. This is all legit. And if you look at the people that the WWE signed in the last 10 years, now some of these guys have already left, but like Keith Lee, Adam Cole, um, Chris Hero going back a lot further, Claudio Castagnoli, now Jeff Cobb, and there's a lot of other guys I'm leaving off there, but it just produced, and I'm not going to say produce, it just showcased so many good talents, and like that's a place that Jacob Fatu never worked. At least I don't think he did. And that's not to say he wasn't good, but I think like he came to prominence after PWG more or less shut down. I think that speaks to how much value they see in him, right? Like they just let go a whole bunch of talented wrestlers, and they let go of a lot of people because they just said, look, they're never going to make it to that next level. Like Braun Strowman will never be the next Undertaker. He won't be the next Big Show. He's a great big dude, but he's just not. He doesn't have it for us. They let go of Shayna Baszler not because she's not a badass, but like they just don't know how to use her. They let go of a lot of really solid talent and then signed Jeff Cobb. They signed him because they feel like he's got something that he could bring to the table. And it's funny. I just now realized that I'm saying all this, and the people on YouTube don't hear you. So I'm answering questions on YouTube, and they're like, "What is he even talking about?" Uh, but yeah. So going back to what you were asking, I just think it speaks to the value that they see of him as a worker. And again, like it's I know it's a double standard, but it's weird that the WWE thinks of the women wrestlers like at 35, it's time to start winding down. And the men wrestlers, it's like, oh, you don't even hit your stride till you're 35. And then once, it's probably 40 is like when you're really at that elite level. So, I mean, shit, they keep talking about Goldberg coming back, right? Like, oh, it's going to be Goldberg versus Gunther at SummerSlam. I don't think that's gonna happen. But Goldberg's like in his late 50s now, right? Nobody. Just McAfee took a beating. That's it. Yeah, I mean, you can't really. I think in this day and age, like, it would be so insulting to the fans if even by accident, Pat McAfee gets a win over Gunther. Like, you don't spend the last 5 years building up Gunther the way he is to have him put over an announcer. You know what I mean? I don't care. Yeah, and for those of you guys on YouTube, we're talking about all things wrestling right now. I'm on TikTok live with my boy Soto619, and we're talking about the WWE right now. We're talking specifically about the recent signing of Jeff Cobb, and then right now we're talking about Gunther and Pat McAfee at Backlash. That was Backlash, right? And then and the potential for Goldberg to make an appearance that just didn't materialize. Would you be shocked if Goldberg made an appearance in AEW? Like if he just said, "Screw it, WWE's taking too long. I'll just go to AEW." I would be too. I just like because he doesn't fit the dynamic. But I mean like look, Samoa Joe versus Goldberg is a match that I never knew I wanted until just this moment, right? Uh, do you remember how? Did you remember those promos with Samoa Joe and Lesnar and how real it felt? And I don't feel like the WWE dropped the biggest fumble that they dropped was not putting Lesnar and Samoa Joe in a WrestleMania match. As far as I'm concerned, I think Joe could have not carried. I think Lesnar's a great performer, but I think Lesnar and Joe would have felt so real and looked so brutal. And like for the world's heavyweight championship at WrestleMania, like man, they dropped the ball as far as I'm concerned. So like if Joe and Goldberg had a match and Joe just choked his ass out, like I would love that. Yeah, 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 for sure. And so like with William Regal leading Goldberg through those matches, he was also a lot less experienced then. I feel like Goldberg, his time in the WWE probably made him a better wrestler than what he was in WCW. Um, but I do feel like, look, he's never going to be like the greatest wrestler. He'll never win a 5 star, right? Like Meltzer will never give him that praise. But I feel like you could have a really good match, and I think Gunther is probably the only guy that because if Goldberg gets a little a little a little happy, a little too excessive, Gunther could Gunther's a shooter, bro. Gunther will wreck that guy. Same thing like with Samoa Joe. And there's a lot of comparisons between the two. Like Gunther will settle shit if he has to. Like that guy plays nice when he's in the ring chopping people and leaving handprints on him. He can really destroy some people. Uh, my guy Inkster Roz is say that he wants to see Goldberg versus Braun Breaker, uh, or Gunther versus Braun Breaker. I mean, I think there's a time and place for that too. I think with the way that gimmick is set up right now, that stable with with Paul Heyman's new Dangerous Alliance. I know that's what the fans are kind of calling it. If you with Braun, I mean, he's the ultimate enforcer. That dude has showed that he has almost zero fear when he's in the ring, and the way that he's spearing guys out of their shoes, it's just ridiculous. And putting him with Seth, I think, is great because what's one thing Braun's missing? I mean, he's a credible athlete. He looks good in the ring, but he's kind of vanilla, right? Like he has no season, if you will. And I feel like putting him in the ring with Seth and with Paul Heyman especially, like that's how you get that guy some seasoning. Um, I think no, you're good. No, that's it. That's so before the injury. I think it would have made a lot of sense to have it be Kevin Owens for sure. But because he's out and it doesn't seem likely that he'll be returning anytime soon, I like to think of superstars, right? And I'm thinking like, who right now is more over as a heel than Logan Paul? Is Dom still over as a heel, or is Dom turning into a baby face? Uh, Inkster said something. Maybe it's somebody from NXT, and like I've heard like Trick Williams, and I don't hate that idea at all. But like, so you have Seth, who is basically the guy, like he is the Roman Reigns of this group, and right now Braun Breaker is more or less his enforcer. So who grows the group? Who makes the group better instantly by putting them in there? Logan Paul, he really doesn't make the group better, but he certainly puts more heat on the name. People are less likely to cheer for the group if Logan Paul's in it. Um, Thinking about it out loud, who on the roster? Braun Strowman might have been a good guy too. Um, how do you feel about Drew McIntyre in that group? That's true. That's true. Hmm. Okay. Well, I haven't. My first answer is Logan Paul. I love it. Less about Rusev, but I like the other two. So it would be, so they would all be a part of the group, or just one of. Oh, the okay, like the finalists. Bronson Reed probably see. Bronson Reed's an interesting guy because when he gets back, you have options, right? Because the last time we saw Bronson Reed, he was in the bloodline, or not in the bloodline, but adjacent to the bloodline. He was a part of that cage match where, unfortunately he got hurt. And so I wouldn't be surprised to see Bronson end up a part of this new bloodline, 3.0, if that's what we're calling it. But, and seeing the other thing with Bronson on the way out, he had that rivalry with Seth before he got hurt, right? But that doesn't necessarily disqualify him. Rusev would be very interesting too. And what's his biggest complaint? Nobody's giving him an opportunity. Like he was in the WWE, he won the U.S. title, and he still wasn't given that opportunity to main event. And then he left thinking he'd find greener pastures, and they did not put him in the main event. They didn't give him the opportunity. So now he's going to his guy, Paul Heyman, the guy who makes good wrestlers into household names, and there's the stories right there for sure, for sure. And then like in the meantime, before you do something really extensive with Rusev, you could always put him and Braun as a tag team. They could easily go after the tag titles, and that would be a very like power heavy, like almost LOD, 2025 type tag team. Yeah, I like it. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, and we talk about the because I'm an NWA fan. First and foremost, the NWA is my bread and butter. So when we talk about pro wrestling, what the NWA needs more than anything else is uh, attention, eyeballs. They need people to watch the product. Soto, you watch so many hours of WWE programming, and you haven't seen maybe 5 minutes of the NWA. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. That's on them because they haven't compelled you enough to get your eyeballs to get your attention there. Um, yeah, and it's that's probably true. And the thing about it is, like, the Crockett Cup is going to be loaded. I mean, the main event. So I don't know for sure what the main event is. If I'm booking it, the main event would be Natty Neidhart, Natalia in the WWE, challenging for the NWA Women's World Championship from Kenzie Page. Now, non WWE fans, they don't know who Kenzie Page is. She has an opportunity to make a name for herself if she has a good outing against Natty Neidhart. I mean, and like we said earlier in the show, I'm really hoping Natty wins, but that means that there's at some point where Natty's going to have to do the favor to an NWA talent, which would essentially propel them to some worldwide notice. If it's Kenzie Page regaining it or if it's Markova regaining it, a lot of people are going to talk about that. Those eyeballs from the WWE could drift over to the NWA with that. Then also the other big match is Rhino challenging for the 10 pounds of gold, the World Heavyweight Championship against Tom Latimer. Rhino just made his AEW debut, and they're talking about him having a big plan for him in AEW ROH. So it's almost like, dude, it wouldn't be a horrible idea if Rhino won the title just to get people talking about it. And we'll see if that happens, though. Yeah, well, he's as close to 50 as you can be. And I saw a graphic the other day that showed him, in his very early part of his career in WCW. Obviously, he made a name for himself in ECW and the WWE. He'd wrestled for TNA, held the NWA World Title for a few days while in TNA wrestling. He's going to do his first Billy Corgan NWA show on Saturday night. His first match, he appeared at another event, and then an AEW ROH. So he's literally worked every single promotion, every big promotion in the last 30 years. That's crazy. You think about that, like everyone: WCW, WWE, TNA, ROH, AEW, NWA. I mean, like, who else did he miss? Who else is big enough for him to have missed? Maybe MLW. I bet you he's worked GCW. Now I'm gonna go look because that sounds. Uh, when? Uh, it should be. I want to. I definitely want to. Uh, what Soto said to me is that Lucha Libre AAA is holding an event in Tijuana, which is about 2 hours from me and about 10 minutes from Soto. And when we 20 minutes, okay. And obviously AAA just recently was purchased by the WWE. That's going to change a lot of things. Although I don't think the official ownership has changed hands yet. It will very, very soon. And this might be one of the. Yeah. 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 Rhino wrestled Joey Janela this year for GCW. I'm sorry, I should have said that. He wrestled. He wrestled against Matt Cardona in 2022, and the ECW world television title was on the line. That's weird. And then Inkster asked, "Did he ever work WCW?" Yeah, as a very new to the game wrestler, Rhino did work WCW. And Tasty Snacks, or excuse me, Tasty Sade says on YouTube that I look like Kevin Owens. So our guy Inkster also said, "Don't be surprised if Zilla makes a save for Jacob." I He's still on probation. They are definitely keeping him occupied. I mean, that's kind of what I don't think he's officially been labeled a WWE ID guy, but I mean, he's working Reality of Wrestling, which is one of the hot WWE uh, independent promotions out there. Yeah. Well, and the thing is, like, and I'm saying this with all due respect, Zilla's still a young guy. He's not Jacob Fatu. If y'all expect him to come in and be Jacob Fatu, you're going to be disappointed. Will he be a badass? Absolutely. But, like, getting in the ring, he doesn't have the experience. Remember, Jacob Fatu spent a lot of time working for MLW and a lot of time working the Indies before he even got a shot at MLW. So it is. Let me try to talk like Kevin Owens. Sabi, my neck hurts, Sabi. Yeah, he still got the whole world by his chutzpah. Wait, they're doing an event this Sunday? I know the Crash is doing a show Friday, and I can't make it because I'll be flying to Philly that day. I can make next Friday, I think. Let me see. Let me see. Your guy is formerly known as Rey Mysterio, right? Or King Mysterio. Okay. Is it bum is it Bamboo? I love Bamboo. Those are my guys. No, my favorite guy is Bamboo's tag team partner, whose name I can't think of right now. Oh, dope. Okay, yeah. So that's May 23rd, next Friday. Yeah. Oh, that's dope, man. Yeah, I'm in. I'm totally in. Oh, we got. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. Archangel Divino. Okay. I just got asked if I like P Diddy on YouTube. So it said, "Sir, do you like P Diddy?" No, no, I don't like P Diddy. Thanks for asking. Bonjour, mon ami. Oh my God, no, I won't be saying that on YouTube. I think that'll get me banned on YouTube. Oh yeah, okay, so yeah, I'm in. I'm I grew up with Saturday Night's Main Event, man. I Yeah, 100. Like, it's for me, like, because I'm starting to get back into the WWE, and it's partially your fault, but also because the product has gotten a lot better lately. Um, that I I do watch your recaps every week, and I sometimes share them on social media because I find you to be valuable in terms of like as a friend. You're great, but like being able to be caught up with WWE in like a minute, I think is pretty cool because I can't always watch it. And I've had some weird comments on my TikTok, so now I'm gonna get to those. Although there's some weird comments over here too. Rest in peace, Sabu. Yeah, man, that is man. Yeah. Let's talk about Sabu, because that breaks my heart, man. He just like, okay. If we're putting all the cards on the table, we know that Sabu has been a very the man doesn't have a slow speed. You know, he went out there and every time Sabu wrestled, he gave you his all. And I got to watch him wrestle a couple of times here in Southern California. He, besides being a former NWA World Heavyweight Champion, he was an XPW champion. When he left from ECW for some time, he came out here to the West and wrestled for XPW. In fact, I know not a lot of people even know XPW, but he was simultaneously the XPW World Champion and the NWA World Champion. And that's like a weird, like for me, because I'm Californian and XPW started in my backyard, and NWA is kind of my bread and butter. Like that's so bizarre to me. And he was having like two different lives, really. Um, then to go from that to he basically, if it wasn't for Sabu, I don't think that ECW would have been what it was supposed to be. Like the way we all affectionately think of ECW doesn't exist without Sabu. It just doesn't. Psychosis for ECW? Well, so Psychosis was there, Ray was there. Um, yeah, I mean, yeah. As far as luchadores, yeah, Psychosis was. Zach Velocity also pointed out Super Crazy was there. Yeah, he was too, but that was a lot later. No, you're good. Yeah, you could say Microman. That's how they say in Mexico. Microman. It's good. Yeah. I, I need to come with you to one of those shows. I that's June. So that is literally June 6th is my wife's birthday, and it's usually a weekend thing. And every time there's an event, yeah, you're gonna leave. Every time he has an event, it's around stuff that we're doing with the family. Like the last show, we were in the UK. Um, my guy Brian asked where I'm at. He's in Carlsbad. I'm so if I tell you the city, you're not going to know it. But basically, I'm about 2 hours north of San Diego, about 30 minutes east of Riverside, and about 40 minutes west of Palm Springs. Yeah, 100.3-5. Um, so yeah, like the thing about ECW is what sold ECW is that you saw things there that you didn't see anywhere else, right? The first time most American fans saw a wrestler get put through a table, it was probably Sabu doing it. The triple jump moonsault, that I haven't seen anybody do that as good as Sabu. I mean, Hayabusa used to do that too, right? And in fact, there's a lot of parallels between Hayabusa and Sabu. But I guess ECW, I don't feel like would exist without Sabu, because he was that guy who literally had his bicep hanging off of his arm, and they put super glue to keep it attached, and then he went and wrestled the match anyways. And he was wrestling against guys like Terry Funk and Shane Douglas and Taz and Rob Van Dam and Tommy Dreamer and Sandman. And because he was so, that aura about him was so crazy, I feel like it really compelled fans to come see him. And it legitimized everything ECW was doing. And then in terms of the high flying wrestling, of course, ECW was known for bringing the luchadores in before anybody else. So they had, uh, Too Cold Scorpio was one of those guys that was just really doing stuff that nobody had ever seen before. But then Juventud and Ray and Psychosis, like this, the feud with Psychosis and Ray is what got both those guys to WCW. Man, we're running at it. Yeah. Yeah, he usually is. He, oh no. Is that why you didn't post it? Real quick before I have to get back to the podcasting stuff, my story with Sabu is, so I have this title here. I don't know if you guys could see it. This title has signatures from guys like AJ Styles, Ric Flair, the late Harley Race, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, um, Nick Aldis, Scrap Iron Adam Pierce, Colt Cabana, Blue Demon Jr., uh, a lot of Jeff Jarrett. I mean, I can keep going, but there was a local wrestling event here in Orange County, California, and it was a really shithole lucha slash. It's ran by Antonio Inoki's daughter. I don't know if she married or was just with a luchador. I don't even know if they're still together, but they had a kid, and this guy still runs wrestling shows in SoCal, and it's kind of a dirtbag. I don't know how he got so close to Inoki's daughter, but um, they've advertised big names before, and obviously no shows. And I'm like, Sabu's advertised. I'm sure if he's there, he's going to be signing or selling merchandise or something. I could get him to sign this. So I bring my title. I go. My wife and kids are at Knott's Berry Farm, which is just down the street. I'm like, I'm going because I want to get this signature on my belt. And I'm waiting. And I asked somebody, I'm like, hey, when is Sabu getting here? Is he going to sign before, or is it going to be after? And the guy's like, yeah, he'll be here later. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. And now we're halfway through the show, and there's no sign of Sabu. And I'm like, this is bullshit, right? Like, are you kidding me? And then so I message him on X, and I'm like, "Hey man, you were advertised for this event. Are you here? Are you coming?" And he goes, "Oh, I'm sorry, I blew out my knee. I'm not there." And they never announced that, right? Card subject to change. And I'm like, "Well, fuck this mess." And I left midway through the show. I left, and then so he's messaging me. He's like, "Yeah, I'm sorry. I hate to disappoint the fans." And I told him, like, I'm a huge NWA nerd, and I'm a, I remember you as world's heavyweight champion. I go, there's a wrestling store out here called the Wrestling Guy Store, and they always have autograph signs. I told them to if ever you're here and signing, let me know because I'm in. I want to get your autograph. And he goes, I won't let you down. I'll make it right for you. And I was like, awesome. And that was in 2021, and it never got. Never got right. And I saw him at the GCW show back in March after Elimination Chamber. I went to the GCW show, and I didn't know he was there, or else I would have tried to get him to sign then. And yeah, that sucks. So yeah. Ooh. Yeah. Yeah. Ah. Yeah. That's that's part of the reason why I'm going to Philly this weekend is I have a lot of friends all over the U.S. from this NWA relationship that I have, and like I have a really good friend who lives in Fort Worth, Texas. I have a really good friend that lives in Glassboro, New Jersey. I have a good friend that lives in like he lives in his van and he goes from like Ohio to West Virginia back and forth all over the place. And there's all these good people that I know that I've never got to actually meet, right? And so I was like, the hell with it, man. I'm gonna make an effort to meet these people. And that's why I wasn't like I didn't even hesitate. You're like, hey, you want to meet up sometime? Like, hell yeah, I do. Because nothing's promised in life, and I don't want to end the show on a downer, but like, look, any one of us can go tomorrow, and I don't think Sabu walked into that match against Joey Janela thinking like this will be the last time he'll be in a match. Like I know it was his retirement match, but I bet you in the back of his head he thought like, the next payday comes and I'm gonna take it, and it's that's why I do what I do is because nothing's promised. So. Uh, Yeah, man, we got to do this more often. I have an idea for you, and we'll talk about it offline. But when you, yeah, go to YouTube, Veamos Lucha Libre. That's my Lucha Libre channel, and I think we should. Yeah, I thought I told you this. Veamos Lucha Libre, and I think you and I should do something with that. I've got 1,000 subscribers, and you're creating Lucha Libre content, and it's in Spanish. Un poquito. Google Translate is muy bueno. Well, now he's a WWE superstar. Oh, I thought you said Vikingo. All right. Well, even still, he's an AEW superstar. Let's go. Why did I think you said Vikingo? I knew you said Commander. Ooh. Well, that's what I'm talking about. I think that would be better suited for Veamos Lucha Libre if you're so inclined. But we'll talk about it offline. All right, man. Yeah, no, count on it. All right, brother. See ya. Hey guys, thanks for hanging out with me. Now I'm gonna go to do my show on YouTube. We're actually kind of live on YouTube right now, but the full show is gonna happen right now. So if you guys want to hang out and check it out, it's youtube.com/TheAllianceBlog, and we'll be talking all things NWA. So I will see you there, and if not, I'll see you next Tuesday. And